Hi there, guys. Today I'm going to do a short video. I guess, well, depends on how long it takes me. I'm going to try to install the tunnel ice scratchers from BRP on my 2019 Indy XC 129. I've done a little bit of research. I've spoken to a couple people. One of my friends, Len Johnson, said they had a set on his 129 last season. Said they worked very well. He had to do a few modifications to a couple of the bushings for where they mount on the sled. So I'm going to try my best to document what is needed to fit these on. They look like a decent product. So we'll see what we got to do, and this is a help to anybody that's looking for ice scratchers. I know that the reason I'm putting them on mine is we're getting to the end of the season. It's going to be March on the weekend, and with having to head up north and the trails getting warm during the day, softening up, and then temperatures dropping at night, in the morning you're usually facing some pretty hard-packed icy conditions, so these ice scratchers hopefully are going to do their job and prevent me from overheating. Alright, so I've removed that upper bolt that mounts the rear suspension and the skid to the sled. Now this is the bolt. This is the bolt and I guess the holder for the spring that comes in the BRP kit. The threads on this are the same threads of the stock bolt, for those of you that are wondering. So the bolt will fit, the nut will thread on. You see it's got some Loctite on there, but that's the first thing. The bolt does fit the nut, and it looks like it's going to be a little short. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do two things. This bushing here, the way that it fits up into there, you can see that groove right in here. The camera keeps going out of focus. You can see the groove there. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to probably just grind a little bit off the bottom here to make it fit flush inside this hole. And then the second thing that I'm gonna have to do is this bushing here, spacer, whatever you want to call it. The bolt is, I would guess, probably 1/4 to 3/8 inches a little too long. So I'm going to cut this bushing down some so that it gives me the right amount of bolt that goes through. So I will do that, and then I'll get back to you. Okay, so I got the bushing filed down. I just took my time and filed a little bit off each time, and you can see basically the difference here. This is the one that hasn't been touched, and this is the one that now fits perfect in that groove. It's not, it sits flat, it won't wiggle, it won't move, so that now fits in there nicely. So the next step is I'm gonna have to cut this a little shorter, just simply to allow this damn camera, just simply to allow the bolt to be the proper length. So I'm gonna cut off 1/4 of an inch on that, and then this little plastic spacer where the spring sits on, I'm gonna do the same thing to it, and then I'm gonna test fit it. All right, so I've got the bushing cut down. So that was the original, untouched, the way it came in the box. This here is the one that I have filed down to fit into the groove, and then as you can see, I've cut it down 1/4 of an inch, so that when it's all together, it will allow the bolt to go through and then it will go through the bracket on the sled, stick out, and the nut will fit on, and it probably gives me about to the end of the Loctite here when the nut is fully threaded on. And then just you can see the tip there of the bolt that doesn't have the Loctite on it. That's basically what's sticking out past the nut. So about what the stock bolt without this on. And then as you can see, there's still plenty of room for the spring to fit on here. So that's the way it's going to go onto the sled. That's tight. You can see that there's still a little bit of wiggle room there for the spring to move back and forth a tiny little bit. And now what I'm going to have to do is this little tab on the spring, I'm going to have to drill a hole in that bracket that drops down where the stock bolt was, and I'll have to drill a hole so that I can stick through, and that'll hold the spring and prevent it from twisting when it's dragging on the ground. So that's the next step. Alright, so that's mounted. As you can see, that's a better this phone. That's a better vantage point of where I drilled the hole. So as you can see, it fits nicely. The hole I've drilled, it's a 1/4 inch I ended up going with. The spring fits nicely through a 1/4 inch hole. And then I'm going to try to show you the nut. You can see that's why I had to shorten that spacer. Was because the bolt was just a little too short. So now it's sticks about the same as what the stock bolt did. So that is that. It's mounted, and now I just have to work on the spot back up here on the tunnel. So when you pull the spring back, you can hook it, and it'll stay up out of the way. So I'm gonna do that now.